DC here. Hi, guys and gals. Well, hope you're all well. It is Friday. I gotta get my days right. I've been getting them wrong all week. So, yeah, it's Friday. And it's been a pretty busy week. Yesterday was not exactly everything that I was expecting, but I say not automatically negative, not negative. But yesterday we had somebody that came over, a mason, who's supposed to be doing some stone work. Well, actually, some where we changed our garage door. We had to, and the exit to the garage was cement. Well, yeah, it was pretty bad shape. I mean, don't forget the house is close to 80 years old, and there's certain things actually that are coming to the end of their, I was going to say their natural life. I'm going to put the sun in my eyes and put these on. So finally, he managed to get over to our place. It's taken a while because of the weather and so on. Either it's too cold, either it's too wet, and so on. And so he was there, but there's some painting to be done. There has to be some extra work, not just painting, but a bit of work on the wall and stuff like that, on the garage as well. So we had a painter that was over, and the painter, he's one of these people that I'm not gonna say he's a one-man business, because that's not true, but he's a small business, and kind of like I was almost going to say he goes from house to house and checks out, and there are references, if he's a good worker or not in his group. But he was there yesterday as well, painting the ramp and some work actually on some metal that had started to rust and so on, and different little jobs. And of course, all that costs money. Some people say, couldn't you do it yourself? Well, there are a certain number of things that I can, and there's a lot of things that I can't. Or actually, that if I do them, they'll be worse than if I had somebody come, and I'll probably end up having somebody come anyway to repair my repairs. I've gone through that enough in life to know that there's certain things I'd just as soon let a professional do it. Well, there are other problems though. When you own a house, there always seems to be something. I have it's called a Velux here over in Europe. But Velux is like a fridge, it's the name. It's a sky roof, or a window in the roof, a sky roof. There's different names for those things. And over here, we just use the word Velux, which is, like I said, it's a brand name. But everybody, well, maybe not all over Europe, but a lot of places, most of Europe know, if you say it's my Velux, they know what you're talking about. Anyway, so these things usually have, especially the ones in the roof and on the south side of the building, they have about 30 years, and then you have to change them or something. Well, that's actually what's happening. And the one that is leaking when is over my computer, basically over my office, and you don't really want that, do you? It's not leaking a lot. Actually, what happens is that it's wood, and when there's a lot of heat or a hot period, it contracts, and it isn't well, if it rains, basically, because of the contraction, there's parts where water can get through until it swells up again. But the whole thing is actually that's not supposed to be the way it is, and the wood has become moist, and it's just simply falling apart slowly, I say. But I had a guy come over because we have a company that we know well that takes care of roofing and things like that. So he came over and looked at it, and he opened it, checked it out, and he said, "Yeah, I'm afraid it is not something that I can just, fix." So that'll be something that has to be changed. And yeah, more money again, more money again. Well, at least one thing, I always like to say, one thing is at least I can uh, take these repairs and take them off of my income tax. So basically, it reduces my income in many ways in reality, but also as far as the tax man is concerned. So it's kind of like helping a little bit, that you can. I'm not saying that things cost less. I mean, they cost, somebody costs somewhere. But anyway, so I get a tax rebate on that. But I always say to everybody, because it's people kind of laugh and they say, "Oh, you got a tax? You can get a tax rebate." And I say, "Yeah, but the tax rebate is not the cost of the repair. I am nevertheless in a net minus, even with the tax rebate." I don't know. Somehow people think you get a tax rebate, so you can just go and do it. It's free. Well, it isn't. It isn't. Anyway. Oh, is that a rant? Am I doing a rant? I don't think so. But it's a reality check, actually, of often people think having a home is, just it's just easy, you're in your home and nothing. But no, there's responsibilities, like in every place. If you're in an apartment, you're paying for your rent, and very often you'll pay for utilities. And let's not forget that part of the utilities or part of your rent goes into that stuff. Many people that live in apartments often think that the owner, has it all great and fine and dandy, but it's not actually the case all the time. I'm not defending, people that, take excessive rents and so on. But I know a lot of people that own homes and rent out and are not making fortunes, but they are earning money. Of course, why would you do it if you weren't? But, anyway. It's funny, I wasn't going to vlog about this at all. It's one of those things when you do these spontaneous vlogs, you start off on something, and it ends up that you're talking about something else. I just got a notification that in 1 hour I have my Spanish class, which is right. Actually, I do. I'm always astonished at the professor. The second time that notification, yes, go away. Because he has students all over the world, so basically he adjusts his time to us. But when you think about it, I'm going to have my class today is going to be at noon, and noon for him is like 4 in the morning. So I don't know exactly when he goes to bed. I've talked about this before, so I won't get into it. I'm very happy that he does this. And I think he organizes his things that, we had a chat once, and he told me, he says, "Don't worry," he says, "I do actually get enough sleep." But it means he goes to bed earlier, I suppose. A big thing in Switzerland these days is a completely other topic. Is the Eurovision song contest, which is basically all countries are in Europe and their invited guests, which is Australia. I know that's really not Europe, is it? But Australia has always shown, for some reason, such a great interest in it that they're invited. Now, I don't watch it every year. I actually haven't watched it for years now. But it is taking place in Switzerland and Basel this year, so we're kind of following it, and it's interesting because of all the political stuff going on in the world. Last year's was very political, and this year they said, "Listen, people, this is a song contest. It's not made for. If you want to do politics, you do it outside of the auditorium, or it's actually in a stadium where it is. It's in the. This is a mega thing, so it's in the biggest stadium in Switzerland, basically. And so they said, want to do your politics, do it outside, within the contest. It's not going to be a political thing. So, for the large part, they've managed that. Yeah. Oh, good. Yes, I'm up to 10 minutes again. So, I guess I'll stop there. You know. So that's it. Just saying. So there's a lot of those things going on in Switzerland right now, keeping us busy, watching that, and of course rooting for the Swiss. No, not really. They're not bad, but they're definitely not going to win this year. No doubt, they will not. Yeah. So I'm going to stop here. DC signing off. Take care, everybody, and hope you have a good weekend because it's coming very quickly.